Hello, my friends. I am Bee, and this is Bee's Intuition. Okay, a little bird just like flew in front of me very randomly. That usually doesn't happen, so that might be interesting to, I don't know, maybe look up the spiritual significance of. I think it's a house sparrow, from what I can see. Little guy. Anyways, so we're gonna do a reading, and today I feel like I would like to just see, just do a mystery reading. Whatever comes out, and we will explore that. Yeah. I want to make it a quickie, but let's be so real, it probably won't be. Another bird followed its same trail. Interesting. Follow the leader. Follow the leader. Maybe you're leading somebody to something. I know that sounds very weird, but I don't know why, but the birds feel significant. Also, just a beautiful day outside today. It is a little bit on the warmer side, but it's summer, you know. I can't complain too much. The sun is shining, there's a beautiful breeze, the river's gorgeous, the trees are beautiful. Really just a blessed, just feeling super blessed in this moment for sure. Okay, so let's just dive right in and see what comes out. Please and thank you, Spirit. What do you have for the collective for this mystery reading? What's the mystery? What's this mystery about, innit? What this mystery be about? Okay, okay. I think I'll take this one, even though I haven't looked at it yet. Three of Cups. That's a good one. Okay. So, and now we will see what there is to see. Okay, so what we have the King of Swords. Interesting. And that came out with the Devil. I won't dive into anything right away. I think I'll wait until I get more clarification. The Strength card came out like this, beautiful energy, as did the Six of Wands come out in that direction. And then the Three of Cups that I showed you. And then, at the bottom of the deck is the Temperance card, but it's starting to slide off to reveal the Fool card underneath. So counting the two at the bottom of the deck, plus what we have here, that's 4 major arcana cards. So I think that this is going to be a message about... Got startled. I think this is going to be a message of importance. There's something important about this, very relevant, very, well, I don't want to say serious, because sometimes that has a bad, what's the word? Like, it can be seen as a bad thing, but I don't think it is a bad thing. We will see. We are going to clarify. Starting out with that King of Swords. Please and thank you, Spirit. What mystery messages do you have about this King of Swords in relation to the collective? Please and thank you, Spirit. Okay, no, I'm not taking all of those. Just one at a time. Well, maybe not one at a time, but... Ooh, this is interesting. Very interesting. Okay. Clarifying that King of Swords, we have the Nine of Pentacles, the Four of Cups, King of Cups, and the King of Swords, clarifying the King of Swords. It's very interesting how that is like a reoccurring thing in my readings, that Spirit will clarify a card by its card. And I mean, I assume it's just to kind of, emphasize the message. And then we have the Judgment card, Six of Wands, and we saw the Six of Wands earlier. 10 of Cups. But, even though all that looks beautiful and wonderful, at the bottom of the deck, though, there's the Seven of Swords. And that's a trickster sort of energy. So I don't know how to feel about that quite yet. But we'll explore that. Let's get the messages here first. Ooh, wait a second. I think this is telling me a little bit about you. Especially with that 9 of Pentacles and 4 of Cups. You've been really focused on your own life, building your own stability, creating your own abundance, and on your own. Even if you're with a partner, I feel like you're still somebody that's really independent. But it does give single energy, typically, the 9 of Pentacles. But with the 4 of Cups following that, you, through this process of really focusing on yourself, focusing on your life, building stuff for yourself and for maybe the future, you've gained a lot of like standards. You're also better with boundary setting. I feel like it takes a lot to impress you because you yourself are very impressive. So if somebody wants to impress you, they have to be just as impressive as you are, if not more. And then that's followed by the King of Cups and the King of Swords. And so this speaks to me of 2 different people that are taking interest in you, but I think both of them think that you're not open to either one of them. The stronger energy coming through here is obviously the King of Swords. So maybe the King of Cups is more so in the background. I feel like the King of Cups can be a little bit shy or just more reserved. And the King of Swords, you know, this is somebody that's very good at communicating. Straightforward communication. Likes logic and truth. So this King of Swords is coming through very strongly. It's odd though that it was followed, or not followed. The King of Swords followed the King of Cups. So maybe this King of Swords is triggered by this King of Cups in some regard. Like they see maybe this King of Cups interacting with you in some regard, and they may feel insecure about that. And then the Judgment card. I feel like a second chance or something like that. Maybe not even a second chance, just a chance in general. That's what this King of Swords is desiring with you. They also may have gone through some sort of major transformation, entered a new phase of their life. I mean, it is possible that that King of Cups is the King of Swords. Just the more emotional, heart-based part of the King of Swords. And if this was a King of Swords that was just a straight-up King of Swords in the past, probably wasn't expressive, probably wasn't emotionally vulnerable. You know, kind of closed off, a little bit stern, strict, kind of detached. But maybe the Judgment card could be speaking to a transformation that has taken place, especially on a spiritual level, and they're seeing things differently. And they also might be wanting different things than they did in the past. So it does feel like this is somebody from the past. I don't know if I would go so far as to say this was a past relationship, though. Because at the same time, although the King of Swords is a very good communicator, can also just as easily get stuck inside of his own head, thinking about things. And maybe overthinking things. This could even be somebody with an overactive mind, you know? Somebody that may be on the ADHD spectrum. Yeah. And then the Six of Wands. They want success with you. They could also see you as someone that is very successful. Yeah, they want to impress you. So I feel like this is a King of Swords that feels like they are your equal in some regard, and therefore, and maybe this is through working on themselves and kind of like doing internal work. And so now they're coming forward with this information of this major shift that has taken place within them, within their life. And they're coming towards you very confidently with that Six of Swords, or not Six of Swords, that Six of Wands energy. Because I feel like it's either like, well, it's kind of like what I'm getting from that Six of Wands is like, they are acting confident because they feel like confidence is key if they want success with you. And then the Ten of Cups following that Six of Wands, like that's happily ever after. This is somebody that could see you as their happily ever after. And so, yeah, this person is making things very clear about their intentions, their desires here. But they may be a little bit afraid that you may not be interested in what they have to offer you. And maybe that is based on some sort of past that took place between the two of you. Could have even just been a, you know, it could have been like a friend. It could have been somebody that you knew pretty casually. Maybe even a coworker. But this is somebody that has feelings for you, and maybe at first they tried to resist those feelings. They tried to ignore them, suppress them, but it feels like the feelings are definitely taking over for this person. So I guess it would make sense if this King of Cups is also the King of Swords. And maybe that could be what makes the difference. Because if this, yeah, like I said earlier, if this was just a King of Swords showing up as a King of Swords in the past, not a lot of emotion going on there. And maybe you felt like, what's the point of me trying to go in this direction if they're not willing to be emotionally vulnerable, open with me? And it feels like this person did something big. Because the Judgment card, that's a big card. That's a major arcana. And so it's like, that's a big shift. If they have changed, that's a big shift for them. Especially if they're not used to getting more in touch with their heart space, their feelings. And the Six of Wands, I feel like, kind of indicates that this is somebody that does want to come towards you. And may be planning just that. Also, why do I feel like this Nine of Pentacles and Four of Cups may be how they remember you? Or maybe the last time they were in your life, you were in this Nine of Pentacles, Four of Cups energy, kind of choosing yourself, kind of sticking to yourself, focusing on yourself, not too really interested in romance, or not very interested in specific people's offers, maybe, when it comes to romance. Not super love focused, I would say. Even if you did have hopes for this to develop in that direction. Yeah, there's like this feeling of disinterested coming from your energy, but I feel like that could be more so a memory than a current energy, because it feels like that's kind of what they are recalling about you. And it's like now they're making those plans to come towards you. With that Seven of Swords at the bottom of the deck, though, I don't know how to feel about that, because it can be a very sneaky energy. Somebody that's not showing all their cards. Keeping something hidden. And usually it's with a bad intention. On the other hand, it could also be a card of, what do you call it? Creativity slash thinking outside the box, especially when it comes to strategies. So if they're in that like plan making mode, it is possible that they're trying to think of like a unique way of entering back in or making an appearance to you. I want to see what's underneath that Seven of Swords. The Sun. The Sun. That's a lot of happiness. That's a lot of sunshine. That's a lot of good vibes. And what is this Seven of Swords trying to tell us? So with the Seven of Swords, yeah, I definitely got a bug bite. Anyways, did you watch that mosquito bite me? How dare you not say something? I'm kidding. But the Seven of Swords. Also, don't mind my pinky finger. I literally painted my nails earlier, and somehow the whole nail polish almost chipped off of my nail. Just because it felt like it, apparently. Anyways, how's my lipstick? Let's just hope they don't get me lipstick on my teeth, because that would be embarrassing. Okay, back to the reading. Enough of me getting distracted by my own vanity. So, the Seven of Swords I'm now seeing as maybe this is somebody from your past who did not take you or the connection seriously. Or maybe that's how you felt or how you perceived things to be. Okay, actually now it's coming through very strongly. Because they're the King of Swords, they probably either were not admitting to feelings, or they were suppressing feelings, not being emotionally vulnerable with you, not expressing those things. And so it's almost like this Seven of Swords is covering up all of the happiness that you brought to them in their life. I feel like this is something that they want to express. It's like they weren't being honest before. They weren't being real with you. And instead of them hiding something bad from you, they were actually hiding something good from you. Which was, you make me incredibly happy. With that 10 of Cups we saw, this is probably somebody that thinks that they love you. I'm not sure how realistic that is. I don't know if you know each other that well, but based on the energy, this is somebody that either could see themselves falling in love with you, or maybe they already have. But they weren't honest about it before. And I feel like you picked up on that, or you didn't like that. You didn't like how this person wasn't either able or willing to express things. But that Sun card, that speaks volumes. You were like a light in this person's life. You made their days so much happier, so much cheerier. Also, something about their inner child felt very happy too. So like you could have been somebody that brought out this person's inner child in some regard. But in a way that was fun, playful, not scary. I'm curious what's underneath the Sun card. Page of Swords. Ooh. This is somebody who's been watching you. Could be watching on like your social media or something. Just checking in maybe, without really saying anything. Also, the Page of Swords can indicate delays. So I'm almost even wondering, did this person delay too long? And now they feel like they lost their chance, or they did in the past? Because maybe they were a little bit too nervous. Maybe they didn't think very highly of themselves. But now they're showing up as the King of Cups and King of Swords. So I feel like this is somebody that has worked on themselves and has gained courage, has gained confidence within them, within themselves, and their ability to express themselves more clearly. Feels like they've really worked on that. And honestly, I'm definitely down for that. I'm all for people improving themselves, especially when they acknowledge that they did something wrong, or simply held back certain information that would have been important to know. Yeah. Okay, so that's who that's King of Swords is. I do see that desire of wanting to come towards you, but with the Page of Swords being underneath the Sun card, they may kind of observe you for a little bit first, and maybe see how receptive you would be if they were to come forward. Okay, let's go on to the Devil card and start clarifying for that. Please and thank you, Spirit. What is this Devil card trying to tell us? For this mystery reading for the collective, please and thank you. Please and thank you. Let's see what came out. Alright, interesting. Clarifying the Devil card, there's the Four of Swords, Page of Pentacles, Queen of Wands, Knight of Pentacles, Four of Pentacles. Bottom of the deck is the Three of Cups. What an interesting message. I feel like you have triggered someone here. You've triggered somebody's insecurities, or maybe their toxic habits or ways of being. So like maybe even codependency, or that feeling of like kind of desiring you so much that it becomes codependent and unhealthy. I think you have triggered this person here, whoever this Devil card is representing. The Devil card can definitely represent Capricorn, but doesn't have to be. This could be somebody you know through work, because Capricorn is very known for being a hard worker. And it's like their reaction to their shadow self being triggered by you was to self-isolate, reflect on things, reflect on themselves. A lot of thinking, maybe meditation. And through that process, they realized that they would like to show up as this Page of Pentacles in your life. A lot of Pentacles energy too, so yeah, I'm more inclined to say that this has something to do with a workspace or a work environment, or like a coworker or something, or somebody that you know through work. Maybe it's not necessarily a direct coworker, but somebody that you've met through what you do, or something like that. And maybe it's not even that the two of you know each other in a work way, and maybe it's like you just know this person through their work in some way, but maybe they don't know what you do. I don't know why I'm getting that. Okay, fly, why are you just hanging out here? There is a housefly. I think it's a housefly, and he's been just chilling and staring and rubbing his little hands together. Fly on the wall. Buddy, I'm sorry, you're gonna have to go. I do not want you crawling on me. I just know you've been in poopy. Well, I don't know that, but I assume. I guess that's a stereotype. Sorry, fly. Where am I going with this? Fly on the wall. Somebody would like to be a fly on the wall. And I believe that saying is, okay, fly, seriously. Why are you... There's something here about this fly. I've never seen a fly be this insistent on, like, being in my space, up in my space. And now I don't even know where it went. I hope it didn't hurt it. I just wanted to shoo it. I think I did. I think it probably just flew away. But it was trying really hard to stay with me. So I feel like somebody really wants you to stay in their... Okay. I didn't hurt it. I just scooped it away. Again. because it came back. I don't understand why it's obsessed with my leg. And just being here. Anyways, somebody wishes that they could be a fly on the wall in relation to you. So I believe that that is a saying that kind of means that they would like to be able to observe you and what you do, especially behind closed doors potentially. So maybe this is somebody that can see maybe a public profile of yours, but only gets so much information, and they would like to kind of get a deeper glimpse into who you are and what you do. But with that Page of Pentacles, also codependency, I think, is definitely what that fly was indicating, because I did mention that the Devil card could be that you in some way trigger this person's codependency. Like they can't live without you. That's kind of what that fly was, like very insistent and stubborn. So I feel like somebody feels like they can't live without you. I know that sounds so dramatic, but that could be how this person's feeling. With the Page of Pentacles, though, following that Four of Swords, it's like, okay, they come out of this period of reflection and they realize that they're curious about building something with you. I think that you're represented here with the Queen of Wands, because it's kind of sticking out like a sore thumb with the rest of the cards here. You're very bright, very shiny. There's something very eye-catching about you, even if it's just your energy. The Queen of Wands is also very confident, so you're perceived to be confident by this person. And since we have the Page of Pentacles and the Knight of Pentacles, they could see themselves as lower than you in some regard. And you know, this could be like not based in reality, because again, I'm getting that storyline of like, maybe you know this person at their job, but they've never seen you at your job. So then they kind of just automatically assume that you have maybe a better job than them, or the way you come across is like, you know, like maybe a boss or something, and they're like, oh, this person's probably a CEO and I'm just a cashier, I don't know, you know, something like that. Yeah, so it's like they realize that they are curious about exploring or trying to build something with you. They're curious about where that would take the two of you. But it's almost like there's like a hesitance I'm getting with that Page of Pentacles, where it's like, oh no, like this is like such a small offer, or such a small, not enough of something to impress this Queen of Wands. And then the Knight of Pentacles follows that, which is a very, very slow moving energy. But it's interesting that it's like Page of Pentacles and then Knight of Pentacles. So I feel like this is somebody that is trying to evolve, but maybe very slowly. And with the Four of Pentacles following that Knight of Pentacles, again, a lot of Pentacles energy. I think this is somebody that's stuck in their comfort zone. So I feel like this is somebody that's capable. They're capable of growing much faster, much like going further in their growth, but they're stuck in their comfort zone, I'm getting with that Four of Pentacles. This could be somebody that kind of struggles with like depression or like pessimism, where it's like they almost don't see the point in improvement. I don't know how to feel about that. It's almost like this person may actually kind of like their shadow self and feel more comfortable being in their shadow than improving, you know, growing, evolving, becoming a better person, better version of themselves. I don't really like this person because or not that I don't like them, I just don't like this energy that they're showing up in, because it feels kind of like it's like they're not putting in enough effort on themselves to see real, true, impressive progress. But instead of like seeing it from a more positive point of view, they're very pessimistic about it. Like, see, I can't grow as fast as other people, or, see, this is why I should have never even tried to grow as a person. Or it's almost like they try to use, it feels like they're stuck. They're stuck in their comfort zone, maybe toxic cycles. There's like this feeling of being stuck, but it's almost like they are the ones keeping themselves stuck. And maybe they're aware of this to an extent, but maybe they're not quite, they may not be quite all the way aware, or see how much they really are impacting themselves in a negative way, and their own growth in a negative way. I do think that they are aware that they have these toxicities, codependency, different sort of parts to their shadow self inside. But it's almost like that's more familiar to them, living and existing within that. And maybe they don't know who they are without being in that lower frequency energy. So it's almost like maybe this person even had a past of like that victim complex sort of thing. And maybe they're trying to move past that, but it's like the pessimism or depression or, those inner thoughts kind of contradict that. And also, because they're putting you on a pedestal, it's almost like, why should I even bother with improving myself? Because no matter what, I'm probably gonna, or the Queen of Wands here, that energy, the collective, like they're gonna reject me either way, so why bother? Yeah, I don't know how to feel about that. Like, I understand like aspects to it, but it's just like, it's kind of sad, like, to almost purposely keep yourself stuck, purposely keep yourself at a lower vibration. Because they're too afraid to change, to grow, to evolve. With the Three of Cups at the bottom of the deck, this could indicate that this is a friend. Also, we have the Three of Cups here, so interesting. So it is possible that this could be a friend, but I'm also getting, and this is weird because the Three of Cups is typically a really positive card, but I'm getting, especially with this context, maybe they're around people who are also in their same sort of lower frequency energy. So maybe it's like they are around people that encourage, like, for example, if they are, say, an alcoholic, maybe they only hang out with people who may also be alcoholics, or people that really enjoy drinking. And so it's like, maybe if this person tries to get sober, they're surrounded by a group of friends that's like, oh, come on, you don't want to do that, like, just have one drink, it's not the end of the world, somebody that kind of almost encourages them to lean into their shadow and not try to improve. And if they actively are trying to improve, the people in their life may be kind of encouraging them to stay stuck and sabotage like them. Yeah, which I find very interesting with that Three of Cups. So it's like the people that should be emotionally supporting this person and encouraging them to become a better person, instead of that, it feels like they're like, it's okay if you're stuck because I'm also stuck. And we can be stuck together, in this low / negative energy together. It's like misery loves company. I want to see what's underneath that Three of Cups. The Tower. Ooh, something's happening here. Could be an ego death. Or maybe that realization that Like, how am I supposed to get any better if I'm surrounded by people who want to keep me stuck and want to sabotage my growth? Okay, I'm also getting that this feels big. And the Tower card is a major arcana, obviously, so big energy, but it almost feels like something is going to happen in this person's life where they kind of feel like they have to change. And I hate to say it, but I'm getting, and this isn't to freak anyone out, but it feels like a near-death experience. Or maybe someone around them had a near-death experience, or they had like some sort of medical issue, problem, or something along those lines, and this has really shaken them to the point of like, I need to change or else that could be me. Or, say they like, this is probably a stupid question, but can alcoholics overdose on alcohol? Probably, yeah. So, maybe it's something like that where it's like, they're like, fine, I'll just stay stuck and I'll keep being an alcoholic, but then sooner or later it catches up to them and they have some sort of health emergency or something related to that alcoholism. And then that could be like an eye-opener for this person, like really being shaken to their core, like, okay, I actually need to change. I can't just like keep continuing the way that I have been, because the Tower card is like, okay, let's tear apart what you're used to and also get you out of your comfort zone. But it pretty much is like the universe forcing someone out of their comfort zone to an extent. And it's, for the best, it's for their best interest, but it doesn't always feel like that in the moment when it's happening. But this feels significant, and maybe it's like spirit intervening with this person, being like, I'm gonna give you this situation, whether that's a near-death experience, whether that's a health issue, whether that's somebody near and dear to you going through this. Feels almost like spirit's like, I need to show you what life will be like if you continue down this dark path. And I think that's what's happening with this person, is they're having this shook. They're shook, and it's just like, okay, like I know I was like playing around with the idea that I should get better, but I think I really need to try, because it's like they can't go back to how things were now. The foundation that was set before has crumbled, and it needed to. It was never really meant to last in the first place. Could even be eating habits, because like that's a whole nother thing too, like with aging, you eat just junk as a teenager, or at least I did. Or, when I could eat junk, I would eat a lot of junk. But it's like the older you get, you kind of have to be more cautious about the things you're ingesting. And, especially things that are high in sugar, high in fat, high in salt, they lead to health issues down the line. So, even if this person isn't someone that has an addiction to alcohol or something, maybe it's food addiction, and they're realizing like, maybe they have a close call of like going to the hospital because of like chest pains or something. And they're just like, you know what, I really do need to change my diet, or, whatever, just an example. It feels like that though. It feels like things can't go back to the way that they used to be. I'm definitely gonna look underneath this Tower card, see if that gives us any more context. The Star card, that's healing. Ooh, I'm getting goosebumps right now. This is giving me goosebumps because I believe. Oh yes, the Star card does come after the Tower. It's the next card in the tarot, numerically, because the Tower card here is 16 and this one is 17. But the Star card in the story, I believe, is like the Tower falls because it's kind of meant to. And now that you're no longer in that comfort zone, what takes place? And what takes place is healing. Lots and lots of healing. Hey, buddy, you want to get off me? No? Okay. Just an ant, so I'm not too worried about it. Yeah. This is actually very beautiful. Like, suddenly I feel like this shift in this part of the reading. So it's like somebody that was almost determined to stay stuck, to stay the same as they have been for so long. And even though that's, probably very unhealthy, whatever it has been, the lifestyle that they've been living has been pretty unhealthy, pretty much not serving them. And then at the bottom of the deck is all this, like, major realizations, mind being blown with the Tower card, definitely. Like, now that they've seen something, they can't go back to the way that things were before. And so that Star card is representing that healing taking place. Oh my gosh, I'm just like thinking about the imagery and how it looks like this woman is pouring out the water into the pond here as well as onto the earth. And the pouring of the liquid kind of reminds me of, like, say somebody is an actual alcoholic. They're taking, like, they're going into their, alcohol cabinet or whatever, wherever they keep their alcohol, and they're taking them and they're just pouring them down the drain. Like, okay, this time I mean it. This time I'm not gonna go back to drinking. That's so beautiful. Okay, like, this is really shifting how I see this person now. Because it almost was like, maybe they even felt like they didn't know how to get out of that cycle in the past. But something is making them at this point, is what I feel. And I feel like it's spirit. Spirit's like you really need to you really need to learn this lesson and try to change. Otherwise, the future isn't looking very bright. But then something crazy happens, and then they start their healing process and they can start anew. And there's also a huge shift in perspective as well. It's honestly very beautiful energy. Wow. So this is somebody that is in your life. They may be interested in you romantically, potentially. Or platonically. Honestly, I'm getting more platonic energy. Or at least I can see if this was a platonic sort of connection with this person. Because there's a lot of pentacles. There's only one cup card, and it's the Three of Cups, which is usually like more friendship vibes. And maybe, like, I'm like trying to connect the dots of like how this has to do with you. Because it feels like it's really personal to them. Maybe you... Oh, that would make sense, actually. Okay, so they probably see you as somebody that inspires them to change. You may be somebody that kind of sets a good example. Maybe you've transformed a lot, and maybe you've broken free of many toxic things, habits, mindsets. And so they're inspired by you too. I feel like they kind of... It feels like because this is such a serious, crazy, sudden thing for them, maybe they're desiring to kind of share their story with you, open up about like what's been taking place behind the scenes for them, and how they kind of had this rude awakening and they suddenly had to change their ways. I mean, I'm not seeing any like messenger cards in this part, so except for the Knight of Pentacles, and that's the slowest moving knight in the deck. So maybe eventually they'll open up to you about this. This could even be a friend that maybe you've been out of contact with for a period of time. Or, maybe a work friend that you had in the past. And the two of you are catching up, and maybe this person talks about like some sort of like near-death experience that they had that changed something for them. Or, they experienced something that really shook them up and sort of made them change. And maybe they'd like to kind of share that with you. Especially with the Star card, I feel like you have also been on this journey of healing. And so I feel like they do feel in some way that you're like a kindred spirit, that you kind of understand this process, maybe more than their friends do. Because it feels like their friends are maybe stuck in the 3D, whereas this person may be kind of becoming enlightened, seeing things beyond the 3D. And that's why I feel like inclined to say like a near-death experience, because like, you know, near-death experiences can be something that kind of makes the non-spiritual very spiritual, makes people see a larger picture. Very interesting, yeah. But like I feel like their friends may be more so in the 3D and maybe a little bit less of a more enlightened frequency, and so maybe that would be why they kind of want to share that with you, because it's like, okay, I know that you'll actually understand this. I can't talk to my friends about it because they'll just think I'm crazy or whatever. Interesting. Very interesting. Very, very interesting. Yeah. I mean, honestly, good for this person. I'm very happy for them. Especially because they have shifted so tremendously. Because it's not easy. Going from this stubborn energy of like, you know what, I should just stay in this low vibration and never try to change or grow, you know, whatever. And then going to like doing a whole 180 in the opposite direction. Like, okay, it's a very interesting change. But very beautiful. Okay, let's go into the strength card and clarify that. Please and thank you, Spirit. Ooh, what do we have for the collective in relation to that strength card for this mystery reading? Please and thank you. What's that strength card message for the collective? Ooh, 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 ooh. Strength card message for the collective. For the collective with the strength card. Can you clarify that for me, please? I'm like a spirit. Like... Vocal fries are funny to me. Like the frickin' the commercial. Jen's pasta from generation to generation. If you don't know the context that I'm of what I just said, don't worry about it. I was kind of making fun of Sydney Sweetie a little bit. Okay, so nothing else came out, so I'm going to go with what came out. Clarifying the strength card, we have the Two of Wands, and the Sun card. And bottom of the deck, we have the Fool card. This is some beautiful energy, honey. You've been so strong for so long. That's what I'm getting very heavily with this strength card, especially how it came out in this direction. You have really been leading with your courage, your inner strength, maybe even patience as well. Because like that's another thing too, is like, especially with like the lion imagery, it makes me think of like when, you know, an animal or like a wildcat, you know, is trying to catch its prey, it doesn't just start out by running towards it. It sneaks up on it first, right? And so it does take the ability to be patient. It's necessary for them to be successful in their hunt. I just thought of that, so that's interesting to me. But and that's kind of where I'm getting that patience part, even though it is a part of the strength card too. But maybe you've been really, really patient with either yourself or your journey or life, even when it was not very easy to do so. Because like, in my personal opinion, patience is something that you practice. It's not just something that's inherent to certain people. You kind of have to, you know, build it up like a muscle. And each day we're given opportunities to practice patience. It's really just a matter of, do we take that moment to practice patience, or do we become impatient? But yeah, so you've been so focused on something here. There's something, also, you've had that sort of bigger picture perspective, I feel, which is a lot healthier. You see the like the big plan, like the big picture. You see that it's not just about you and your journey, it's like how everything's interconnected and the universe is interconnected, and you picture something for your future, and you've been planning and working towards it, I feel. Even if there are times where you kind of look back on your past and maybe you feel like maybe I haven't really done that much on my journey, or I haven't really hit those milestones that I've been wanting to hit. But I feel like you've been making really good progress. It may just be like something that's more obvious to people outside of you than it is for you yourself. Because sometimes we can see other people's progress way more clearer than they can. And then the Sun card, I think you're heading towards a lot of emotional fulfillment, brightness, happiness, lightness, I want to say. Like feeling lighter, feeling excited again, feeling like that lust for life is what I'm getting. And you're heading towards the light. I think that whatever lays ahead of you, or like waits ahead of you, I don't know what the phrasing is, but your future is looking very bright, especially compared to your past. I think your past has been very dark, maybe even bleak, because I'm getting gray. I'm getting gray, and maybe part of it is because of the color of the sky in the background of this. It's almost like he's looking back on his past and seeing the gray clouds, but if he looked ahead, he would see the sun. And that's the direction that he's heading in. So get ready for happier, lighter, brighter times for your future, for yourself, because this is beautiful. It really does feel like something is just around the corner that is going to make all of your efforts worth it, going to make you incredibly happy, incredibly fulfilled. Your inner child will thank you, I'm getting. Beautiful energy, yeah. And then at the bottom of the deck, the Fool card, I think you're ready for something new, something fresh, something exciting. Also, you're listening to Spirit to help. You're like listening to Spirit because Spirit is helping to guide you towards this blessing or blessings, this bright future for you. And you've been really listening to your intuition and listening to Spirit, and I think that that is what's making the difference. The fact that you're trusting in this process, even if it's not super clear, maybe if you're not seeing the physical 3D validation that you're on the right path, that you're going into a place of success, you trust that even if you can't see it, it's still there. And that future, that bright future that you've envisioned for yourself is going to happen. It just is. And I feel like it's really because you haven't given up. Beautiful message. I love that message so much. Yeah, you're really trusting Spirit very strongly, and Spirit is like, thank you. I will not let you down. I want to see what's underneath that Fool card. The Two of Cups. Okay. You attracting some love while you're at it? I've also heard the Two of Cups be referred to as like, meeting your higher self. Going down a path towards becoming your higher self and kind of seeing who that version of yourself is. Meeting with them face to face, sort of. So it could just be simply about like the improvements you've been making internally and how that's going to be helping you to become your higher self. The best person, the best version of yourself. But on the other hand, it could be love. And this is a beautiful energy because it's that equal give and take, that shared back and forth. Somebody that gives just as much as you give. So I feel like your future is going to look bright in multiple ways. I feel like it definitely is going to look bright in terms of maybe your career or whatever you've been working on, but also in terms of relationships. I'm curious what's underneath that Two of Cups. Strength. And that's the card for clarifying. How funny is that? A lot of Leo energy. Strength card, Sun card. The Fool could be indicating Aries. Yeah, it's all because you've been so strong, so courageous, so patient with yourself, with this process. And you're going to be coming into some really nice times. Your future is looking super bright. Definitely. Beautiful energy. Okay, let's go on to the Six of Wands. Well, let me actually show you the Six of Wands now. Clarify that. Oh, my legs fall slight. How dare you? Okay, clarify that Six of Wands for me, please, and thank you, Spirit. What is this Six of Wands all about? Anyways, what is the message with the Six of Wands for the collective, please, and thank you, Spirit? What is this all about in relation to the mystery reading for the collective? Six of Wands, clarification, please, and thank you, Spirit. Anything else for that Six of Wands? Okay. Let me just do one more just to make sure. Ooh, okay. Okay. Interesting. Okay, clarifying that Six of Wands. We have the Hierophant. Okay. And then we have the Five of Pentacles. 10 of Wands. Ace of Wands. And then Six of Swords. King of Wands. And then bottom of the deck, we have Six of Pentacles. I think you're going to be receiving some sort of blessing here, or success. Acknowledgement even, about some sort of success. And I feel like, especially with the way that this Six of Wands is coming out, you're heading towards your success. Ooh. It has something to do with you telling your story or sharing the wisdom that you have learned on your journey. You're giving that information to other people. You're kind of maybe, yeah, just talking about lessons, wisdom, things that can help other people that also want this sort of success. And then it's like, yeah, this is part of your backstory, the Five of Pentacles. You know what it feels like to be down and out, to feel like everyone in the world is happy except you, you know, or, you know, other people's lives are looking so great, but yours isn't. That could be how you were feeling in the past, for sure. Like, life is not fair, especially not fair to you. Then the Ten of Wands, it could be that message of just feeling overburdened, but also it's like you've been putting in so much work and maybe you felt like for a long time you weren't seeing the payoff. And that could have been really a bummer for you and made you feel like, is it even worth putting in the effort anymore if I'm not seeing the payoff? But I feel like now you're coming into that time of seeing the payoff. And so it's like, okay, so all that work was worth it in the end. And then the Ace of Wands. Why do I feel like, especially with that 10 of Wands and then the Ace of Wands, it feels to me like somebody, and maybe it's even spirit here, especially because the Hierophant would indicate that you're very connected to spirit. Spirit could be trying to lighten your load here for you, or somebody could be coming into your life to help lighten the load of all of this hard work that you've been doing. All of these heavy burdens and responsibilities and, you know, things that have been just weighing you down for so long. This could be somebody that really wants to help you out in some way. And then the Six of Swords, that's about coming out of a time of bleakness, things being really rough, going towards calmer waters, and hope, opportunity. for the future. So it's like once this person or energy, if it's spirit, once they help alleviate some of this burden that you've kind of been feeling on your journey, it's almost like you see now that, like, when that comes in, it's like now you can see that the future is looking bright, that you are heading towards a better time in your life. And things are going to become easier for you. And then that King of Wands, it could be that this is the person that's coming in to help you. You were showing up earlier as the Queen of Wands. But this King of Wands could also represent you, and maybe you're just somebody that's very balanced in terms of your feminine and masculine energies, which may actually make more sense, because when your energies are balanced like that, your feminine and your masculine, I feel like you're able to manifest much easier, because it's like you know how to kind of navigate situations. Like, you know what calls for your masculine energy and what calls for your feminine energy. So it definitely could just be you being, or coming into this time of being incredibly balanced and powerful, knowing your power, feeling confident, feeling like, okay, I deserve to be on this throne because I've worked to get here. I did not give up. You're also somebody that's like, you get fired up maybe like about certain things, or you're very passionate, you're very passion driven, because there's a lot of wands here. And actually that would make sense if it, well, because again, I'm kind of on the fence, and maybe it will differ for each and every one of you out there, whether or not this is spirit or someone physically coming into your life to make things easier. But with the Six of Pentacles, I feel like you are definitely receiving help in some form or another. And this is going to make you feel like the karmic scales of justice are finally balancing out. Like, finally I'm getting the rewards for maybe my good karma that I've been trying to put out into the universe. Also, because we did have the Hierophant, and I was getting that message about like sharing your story or sharing your wisdom, I feel like you have something of value to share with others for sure. I want to see what's underneath the Six of Pentacles. Knight of Swords. Ooh, okay. So this is sudden coming in, and could be somebody communicating about this gift that you're receiving. Maybe it's even a new position, like a job or a path for you. Somebody may see your like potential and maybe offering you some sort of like job or a position that you would be perfect for, like filling a role of some sort. I want to see what's underneath that Knight of Swords. The Lovers. Okay. So, you know, the Lovers can definitely be about like soulmates and all that stuff. And yeah, I guess that is possible to be, you know, part of this message as well. So it's always possible that there is a soulmate involved in all of this, but I think more than anything, the Lovers card can also represent choices, making more divinely aligned choices. You know, kind of choosing what you know is the right thing to do, even if it's difficult, even if it causes problems in your 3D. Because that's a whole nother thing too, is like, just because you're acting out of kindness or what you believe is right, that doesn't always align with the 3D rules of society. So it's like you've been listening to Spirit, you've been listening to the guidance of Spirit and which direction to go, what choices to make. And I feel like as a result of the choices that you've been making probably for a long time or some sort of amount of time, it's allowing this new door to open for you. And either you're going to be receiving something of value, or you're going to be put in a position where you're in like sort of a position of power where you can share the knowledge that you have. And this could be coming in quite fast for you. And maybe it's slightly unexpected. Because especially if you've been working at something for a long time and you haven't been seeing any payoff, you haven't been seeing, you know, the rewards for it yet, and then all of a sudden it happens for you, I feel like that's going to definitely be very eye-opening, very, yeah, potentially shocking for you. So yeah, it could have to do with like a physical person coming into your life who's not only gonna make your life easier, but also could be your soulmate. And then on the other hand, you could be given a position by someone for you to fulfill, and you're like the perfect fit for it, for that role. Okay, yeah. And then the Three of Cups, let's clarify that, shall we? Please and thank you, Spirit. What is this Three of Cups for the collective? This mystery reading. Three of Cups, clarification, please and thank you, Spirit. Three of Cups, please and thank you. Please and thank you. What is this Three of Cups? What is this Three of Cups concerning when it comes to the collective? When it comes to the collective, isn't it? This Three of Cups. What's going on with that? Oop, oop. Okay. Ooh, very interesting energy. Okay. Clarifying that Three of Cups, we have the Two of Pentacles, Five of Cups, Seven of Cups, Seven of Wands, Six of Cups, Justice, and then bottom of the deck we have the Seven of Pentacles. I feel this sense of social isolation, but I don't think that it's like you intended maybe a period of isolation to be for your own betterment, but I'm starting to feel like it may have become slightly out of balance. Like maybe you were spending too much time on your own and not enough time connecting to those around you, maybe your community, your friends, your support systems. You also could have felt like you had your hands full with other things and you were too distracted to really open up to other people. But it feels like you were trying to gain balance or control over some sort of part of your life, whether that's emotions, mental health, material things. You were like trying to find balance and struggling, and so you may have self-isolated for a period of time to do that, to find a sense of balance, to find and figure out a way to balance things in your life. And then the Five of Cups. You could have experienced some sort of heartbreak, or honestly, especially because I was getting that mental health part with the Two of Pentacles, the Five of Cups could be indicating that maybe depression was at play or some other kind of mental health issue there that kind of made you feel really down and less energetic, less encouraged, or less interested in being around other people. You could also be kind of one of those people too that may feel kind of bad if you're going through a depression, and you may feel like, well, I'm too much of a burden to my friends, so I'm just going to self-isolate until this depression's over. But what if your friends really want to help you through that depression? What if they would love to be able to come over and give you comfort and affirmations and, you know, truly support you through this difficult time? The Seven of Cups could definitely be a feeling of being overwhelmed. And it is the cups, so that could deal with being overwhelmed by emotions, really. And so, yeah, I feel like maybe your mental health has kind of been out of whack, or it was. And there was just like a lot of, you know, feeling unbalanced, feeling really sad, feeling really confused. It could be something to do with love as well, because we have so many cup cards coming in at this part of the reading. but not necessarily. Could just deal with emotions. And it's interesting too that this person stands alone. That Seven of Wands energy. Like somebody that is standing their ground, and they're going to be successful even against the odds. So I feel like I love when dogs hang their head out the window. In cars, I think it's cute. Anyways, I feel like you felt like you had to do this on your own. You felt like you had to face these internal battles, or maybe even some external battles. It felt like you needed to do it by yourself, or that you had to do it by yourself. Whereas I think that you have a good support system, and maybe there's people that genuinely would have liked to have helped you through this difficult time in your life. But maybe you felt like, oh, I'm just going to be a burden. I don't want to bother them. But maybe they would feel super happy and fulfilled to help you because, they're in your life for a reason. They care about you for a reason. But I feel like that Seven of Wands is also indicating that you're breaking free of whatever this was, this period of self-isolation, depression, overwhelming emotions, mental health issues. And it feels like with that Seven of Wands, you're finally like breaking out of that. Also, you may see yourself as more so a leader, so maybe you're like the oldest person in your friend group or something, and so it's like maybe you feel like awkward to ask other people for help because maybe you feel like, oh, well, I'm the leader or I'm the oldest person in the group, like I shouldn't be asking them for support, they should be asking me for support. But again, these friends, these community people who are there to support you, they want that opportunity to help you and support you through those moments. Six of Cups, so there's like this reflecting on the past here, but feels positive. And this could even be like your friends reflecting on like how you've always been there for them, and they would like to be there for you in return. Also, this could even, I don't know why, like usually the Six of Cups is not really a present moment sort of energy, but I feel like this could be indicating that someone is going to lend like a helping hand emotionally or just be a support for you. And maybe it kind of opens your mind and you're like, oh, so I don't have to do everything by myself. I actually have support around me. Like people genuinely want to help me. People genuinely want to be kind to me, give to me, make me feel worthy. I feel like you're not used to that sort of energy from your community, from your support system. And that's really sad to me, but it also makes me happy that you are experiencing that now, even if you didn't in the past. Because I feel like there is something here. Could even be like a childhood friend or something, or something that's connected to your childhood. Maybe somebody that you knew, way back in the day. But I feel like somebody really wants to like help you emotionally. Even if that's just talking things out, being an ear to listen to you vent about things going on in your life. That can be really helpful. And then the Justice card. So it's almost like if you don't allow people in to help you through those moments, and you're the only one that's always giving and supporting others, that leads to an imbalance. And balance is a very necessary part of life. And especially when it comes to the things that we want to work out in our favor, finding a place of balance is the best sort of strategy. And so I feel like with that Justice card, following that Six of Cups, it's like somebody's here coming in to help support you because you are always supporting them. And then that balances out the scales. And it helps you to feel happier. It helps you to feel less burdened. It helps you to feel like, oh wow, I actually do have a support system. I actually do have people that are genuinely in my life because they love me, you know, and they wish to support me and show up in that way for me. Because also there's like, with that Justice card, I feel like there's like, you know, seeing the light or seeing the truth, seeing the real, the cold hard facts, you know, it's like, and it's showing you that maybe that feeling of being a burden is just in your head, and your friends really don't mind if you're going through a hard time. And in fact, they would like it if you opened up more about those difficult times. Ah, that's a beautiful energy. I love that a lot. The Seven of Pentacles being at the bottom of the deck, it could be that you've been super focused on your finances and just like distracted by that. But I also feel like there's this slow improvement taking place over time, or something growing slowly over time. So maybe that's a new friendship, or I also feel like it could be like in terms of if you have a hard time opening up to others and asking others for help, it could be something along the lines of like you're taking, like you are heading in that direction of healing, being open to the possibility that other people want to support you. And maybe it just takes a little bit of time, a little bit of patience, and you'll get there eventually when you start to feel more confident and more reassured by these friends and support system that you have. And there's something about like, you don't have to do things alone. I feel like somebody needs to hear that. You don't have to do everything alone. It's okay to need other people. It's natural to need other people. Well, as long as we're not completely depending on them for, you know, everything. Which I don't think that's your energy, so. But let's see what's underneath that Seven of Pentacles. King of Pentacles. So yeah, this could be somebody that's coming into your life. Now we have seen all four kings, and I've mentioned before that all the kings combined represent the emperor. You could be attracting your own emperor, just saying. So somebody that's like really like on your level. Somebody that's like just as I don't know why, but I'm hearing like just as dope as you are. So like, yeah, somebody that really matches your energy, that's also as powerful as you are. King of Pentacles is a great energy too, very stable, secure. I feel like somebody wants to come in and provide you with that sense of stability and security. And, you know, whether that be like, you know, helping you out financially or helping you out in terms of your career goals, or, you know, they just want to be helpful, it feels like. Okay, I want to see what's underneath the King of Pentacles, just out of curiosity. The Hanged Man. Yeah, I feel like this could be kind of a shakeup for you, and you're kind of realizing all of a sudden, like, wait a second, I actually have a support system. Maybe in the past you didn't. Or maybe that was a fake support system that you had before, and this is a real support system. And you're just like, you know, like, you're probably seeing it from a completely different perspective after. And you're like, I actually have people around me that genuinely want to help me, that genuinely want to support me. And then you're going to feel super blessed about that. You're going to feel really good about it. Because it's like, wow, okay, I really didn't think that that would ever happen for me. But here it is. It's actually a very beautiful energy there. Let's look at the bottom of this deck. Temperance card. We saw that earlier. That came out, I believe, earlier. At least I thought it did. Maybe it's under one of those stacks there. You're taking past experiences and transforming them into things that can help you. Very much a transmuting sort of energy. And what was the one that was on? The Fool, yes. So new beginnings on the horizon for you. Also, I get like healing with the Temperance card sometimes. And so I feel like maybe this new beginning is going to be very healing for you. Also, it's a little baby chick. So it makes me kind of think of a new start. Like it maybe even a rebirth, like a new chapter, a fresh new slate or something like that. I want to see what's underneath the Fool card. High Priestess. Trusting your intuition is very much key during this time. Also, notice how the 3 cards at the bottom of the deck are all they're all major arcana. So this is some big stuff that's happening in your life. Big healing vibes, big new beginning vibes, big intuition vibes. There's also something that's so calm and confident about this High Priestess image. I feel like you're going to be coming into a time where you're just like very confident, and it's almost like especially once this stuff kind of hits the 3D and you actually see it in your 3D, I feel like you're going to kind of start to feel very comfortable, very confident, like now I can relax because my intuition was correct. My goals are being met. I am receiving the rewards that I've been wanting for so long. That's beautiful. Okay, let's break out the Oracle and see what it has to say. Anything else to add to this mystery reading for the collective, please and thank you, Spirit. Any other messages for the collective in regards to this mystery reading, please and thank you. Any other... Okie dokie. Okay. So, we have the bee and pomegranate, and this represents productivity. I think you are being very productive. You're accomplishing a lot, and it's like you may not see it until you finally see it. Do you know what I mean? Like it's building up over time, and you're a very hard worker with the bee. You're determined, you're hardworking, and your hard work and your effort is going to pay off for you. Then the deer and oat, this represents healing. I think you're coming into a healing time for sure, because it's almost like now that you're coming into this time of seeing your manifestations come in, you're seeing the payoff for all of your hard work. I feel like that's going to feel very healing for you. And it's going to feel comforting. Like, yes, there is balance to the universe. Then the goat and willow, this represents overcoming obstacles. I think you have been doing that. Yeah. I feel like that's probably been most of your path, is overcoming obstacles. And I find it interesting that it's coming out now, so it almost even indicates that maybe there's not going to be as many obstacles in your future as there was in your past. And then at the bottom, not at the bottom of the deck, I don't know why I said that. The other card that came out is the squirrel and chestnut, and this represents preparation. I feel like you've kind of been prepping yourself for your own success, and that's through just being determined, doing the hard work, sticking with it. And now it's like, get ready for the payoff, baby. And then at the bottom of the deck is the otter and cattail. This represents peace. I actually really like that. I think that's a very sweet little message. And I think you are going to experience that sense of peace. Because it feels like this is going to be a moment for you where you're like, finally, the scales are becoming balanced. You know, finally I'm experiencing some good luck. Finally, I can see that my efforts were not in vain. And that's going to give you a lot of peace and a lot of, like, a deep sense of serenity. Beautiful. Beautiful energy. So that's the reading. I really hope that you enjoyed this. And if it resonated at all, feel free to like, comment, share, and subscribe. If you subscribe, you can become a part of the Hive Collective, because my name is Bee. Bees live in hives, and you can become an honorary bee like me, and we can be a little bee family together. If you like my readings and you'd like to see more, be sure to click that bell icon down below so that YouTube actually notifies you the next time that I upload. And thank you so much for being here. I truly appreciate you, and I can't wait to see you in the next one. Bye.